Well and was successful trading today. As always, I'm going to be going over the E-mini futures for S&P 500. Today is Wednesday, May 14th. I'm going to try to keep this brief as always. Did a good job last video. I'm going to get going on this one pretty soon too. As always, all my credit to Al Brooks. His trading course will be below in the comments if you guys want to learn about price action from the best and learn about this strategy. I would go and purchase that, and all the credit to my teacher, Troy H. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be trading. So a huge shout out and thank you to him. And I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna pull up the Globex chart just so that it's here. We can look back at it. There's a couple thoughts I had on this. So we open up here. I'll just start with it off. Sorry, guys. We just start with a pretty good bull bar push up, but you got to think about context. You have a huge push down at the end of the day yesterday, and this big bull push up could have a second leg, but it is also the opening bar. You get a big trend reversal, two micro gaps that push down. Kind of see that it pushes back down to the EMA. Once it crosses and closes good below the EMA, finally dumps. So you have a one leg down with a 3-bar micro channel with a couple micro gaps. So right away, even though it was early in the day, I was thinking that this would need a second leg, but I don't trade the first 30 minutes. So I wasn't willing to take a trade until 10:05 just because of the volatility. And you can see kind of, it was a roller coaster from there. Bar 5, Super Doji tried to push down. I actually marked this out as a line of support down here. This was a line of support, as you can see, it continuously tried to get broken, but yeah, breaks down, tries to get another follow through, fails, doji bar, get a slight reversal. I think it's just because traders may have been buying the open, trying to get back there to break even, so they finally get their push up, another failed bull breakout, trying to touch the EMA, another failed to kind of get there, they can get out break even, but it's bouncing off the EMA, which is just showing a lot of strength, I feel like, downward. So this hasn't really quite got a second leg yet. Bulls are trying to fight back up past the EMA, and as you can see, it's having a hard time breaking through this line of support right here. It tries to break it once, twice, 3 times, even a fourth time. So it keeps on trying to break through there, but it also keeps on trying to break through the EMA to get a reversal. So it kind of goes sideways, bouncing, and the bears eventually get their second leg right here on 18 and 19 with a great, huge push down over 17 points. So kind of gets one leg, complicated pullback, bears or bulls trying to get back in, and the bears finally get their second leg, and it breaks through this line of resistance I had drawn out. I thought this was kind of a give up bar, I'd say. I wouldn't say give up bar, but it was very climactic. Um, and as you can see, it tests. This is when I was talking about the Globex chart. It tests the Globex chart low, so the low of the Globex chart, and 75%. I think 75% of the time, they'll either try to test the high of the Globex or the low, or even both. So test the low, so you kind of see that this is, you don't want to sell below this. It already has 1, 2 pushes down. This is a very, very climactic bar. So you don't want to get caught selling below this. After that, it continues going and it reverses up. So you reverse up 20 through 21. I thought about buying the close of 22 just because it kind of tries to pull back, has a failure, not a great pullback, probably going to get a whole lot higher. But I just was worried that I was going to reject off the EMA again. Maybe this was going to get a third push down because of how much momentum it had. It was kind of trading against the regime at this point. Once 23 closed above the EMA, I realized that this was probably going to get somewhat of a symmetrical second leg. So I scalped in very quickly on 24 and just made a quick 5 points on 24 as well. So I played it really, really smart with good risk management. I wasn't sure how much of a second leg this was going to get. So hypothetically, I sold this pullback here. I could have ended up making about around 9 points, but I wanted to play it smart. I wasn't sure how much higher this was going to go with the overall market regime starting bearish. So I bought 24 real quick, scalped for 5 points, and was happy with that. Continue going. Oh, and yeah, so I have this line of resistance here that I was talking about, having a really hard time breaking through. Finally breaks through, or this line of support. Sorry, guys. Line of support, and then I thought kind of here at this low of the day, low of the Globex, that this was probably going to be a line of support later in the day, so I marked that out. But moving forward, goes sideways into a trading range. Doesn't really get any crazy breakouts. You could say 37's a breakout, but is quickly responded to by a big bear breakdown with a nice micro gap, and it closes below the EMA, and that was a huge sign for me. This was probably my favorite trade of the day. Um, Closes below the EMA, and then the huge indicator for me was 39, closed very well below the EMA. So I thought, this is kind of sideways. This is finally a first leg down, and it has a lot of potential to get a second leg down. And I kind of wanted to wait for um, some more confirmation that it was going to get a second push down, just because it was still very close to the EMA. But I would say my biggest deciding factor to enter into this trade, actually with two different contracts at two different times, was 40 just kept on trying to get to the EMA, and it would just keep on trying to push up, and it just rejected. EMA just kept on rejecting it, and then it closed very low. So I thought this may have been just a minor pullback failure. So I sold the close of 40, expecting maybe it just to dump right away. And it clearly got a little bit more of a pullback, but right away I was thinking about maybe getting out, um, losing a couple of points because I wasn't really sure about this. But again, it tried to break the EMA, it couldn't do it. So at that point, I really had the hypothesis that this was definitely going to get a second leg down, couldn't break through the EMA. This was in need of a second leg down. So I sold again. And 42 happened, and then 43 happened, and as you can see, I sold. Once I saw this was kept on pushing down, I kind of thought maybe the wick of 39 was a line of support, and it was having a hard time breaking through that, so it just maybe got a little second leg, and then would respond back and try to, touch the EMA again. So I just took another quick 5 points. Looking back, as you can see, it rips down. I would have made a bunch, but I was fine with just playing it smart again. I'm trying to have a lot of patience and just take the trades. Try not to be greedy. Take what you can get, and if you think a trade might be going against you, might as well take it profit, instead of getting out break even or down 5 points. So push down here, pullback fails. I got out for 5 points. It tries to pull back again. You can see it really doesn't get a good pullback at all, and then it finally dumps down. So hypothetically, from about the middle of this was where I'd be. Could have easily, killed at probably 20-ish points, 15 points. So definitely another good dump down, I guess. It could have been sketchy, but if you saw 44 pullback failure and then 45 happen, you could have maybe sold it thinking a third leg was coming, but you already get one, two. This is betting on a third push down, and the probability lessens. Oh, and this turquoise line, I didn't talk about this. It was a line of resistance from yesterday, and I just kept on noticing they were trying to break through, and it was kind of kept on trying to fight back to this line and touch it. So I just marked it out for today, and it was almost like a magnet. I feel like for the bars today, they just kept on, you know, crossing and trying to fight back and then break through this line. So I thought it was interesting. But after that, or where am I at? Sorry guys. Yeah, after these three pushes down, one, two, three, kind of a double bottom right here. Still not being able to break through this earlier line of support I had, of today's low. So once I saw this breakthrough, I thought it was maybe trying to fill some micro gaps from back here, and thought it may go lower, but it was already, three pushes down, bottom of the range, wasn't worth a sell again. So I had a quick reversal, and this is actually a trade that I wish I would have gotten into. Um, but I was trying to play it safe again and not get too crazy. I was already up my daily goal 10 points, so I didn't really want to force anything. I was trying to play it smart. I'm trying to have a lot more patience with my trades and only take really perfect setups. But it gets a good push up. The doji bar in 49 kind of threw me off. I may have bought if this was a better close, but I just thought the probability wasn't great. But it reverses up, pushes back, pullback failure, tries to fight to the EMA, bounces off of it a couple times, and then finally gets its second leg up. So one, pullback, two. You could have looked at 52 as confirmation, and you could have scalped another at its peak 9 points, but probably about 5 points would have been the safest bet. The rest of the day just kind of rocky ride. It kind of bounced all over the place. You get a huge breakout bar um, of the EMA, and I kept on looking at these breakouts. Even I'll get into this one down here even, but it breaks out of the EMA very significantly and has this huge breakout bar, 13 points. But it just doesn't get great follow through. And without having great follow through, it's kind of hard to bet that a second leg is going to come. And it is pretty near the high of the day, and you just got to be careful. And I just wanted to have patience, not force any trades. So kind of just goes sideways, kind of just choppy weather. And you get this push down too, but then again, it's just 2 bars, not great follow through. I usually look for at least 3 bars to hop into a trade. And this is towards the end of the day, just super doji, one last push up, but nothing you could hop in on. But yeah, that was my analysis and the trades that I made today. I thought I had good patience today. Um, yeah, good discipline. So yeah, that was my analysis. If you guys have any more questions, let me know. And if you guys don't understand price action, go learn about it and come back to these videos and they'll make more sense. But once again, shout out to Al Brooks and Troy H for all of this and teach me all of this about price action and second leg trades. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Thank you for tuning in. If you made it to the end of the video, and leave any constructive criticism or comments down below, I'm always open to hear it. Thank you.